Hello and welcome to Aaron's Review. I am reviewing every major film nominated for the Oscars this season. So that's everything for Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actress, Actor, Screenplay, Documentary, International Film, Animated Film. And today I am reviewing Nickel Boys. Nickel Boys is up for Best Picture as well as Best Adapted Screenplay. This is based off of a novel that I believe won the Pulitzer Prize. We have a 1 minute summary where I just have a minute to tell you what this film is about, spoiler free, as well as a 1 minute review of the film that's also spoiler free. We're spoiler free here, so you can enjoy the film. This is just to see if you want to watch the film. And then we'll have erroneous thoughts where I will take on something I'm just feeling today, something I'm thinking about. Usually it's about something about the Oscars, something about film, something about this film specifically. And at the ending, I'll let you know what I would nominate this film for, if the Oscars got it right or not. So let's go. 1 minute summary. I only have a minute to tell you what this film's about. So this is all in fun. This is not an in-depth summary of the film. I'm not going to give away too much, talk about too much, but just give a generality and in my fragmented mind. I don't have anything written down, just off the top of my head, what I remember from the film to see if this is a film for you. So let's find out. We go in 3, we go in 2, we go in 1. So this is a film set in Jim Crow era um, Tallahassee, I think, Florida, and it's about a young black man, Elwood. And Elwood is set up for great things. This is during Martin Luther King, and then he, his unfortunate circumstances send him to a Nickel Academy in Florida, which essentially is like a juvenile hall, essentially, and it's a kind of a school to help them get better, but it's real, and they separate them in segregation. So all the white kids, all the black kids, they're all separate from each other, and it's then just his journey through this, meeting his friend Turner, and kind of what the horrible things that they have to endure there that are eventually revealed, and how they are treated there, and the unfair injustices really that go on um, between all these kids and the abuse that they have to endure. I think it's 1962, if I'm correct. It's during Martin Luther King era as well. So that was a rough summary. The film is so much more than that. That's just the summary. Yeah, so the Nickel Boys are the kids who are at Nickel Academy. Okay, no, it's not my minute anymore, but then it's also about Turner and Elwood and their relationship throughout Nickel Academy. That was important. I had to get it in the 1 minute. Yeah, so much more though than that. And now it's time for my 1 minute review. I only have a minute to tell you what I thought of this film. We'll get a little more in depth later on. My thoughts off the top of my head about Nickel Boys. We go in 3, 2, 1. Nickel Boys, it's first of all shot in a POV, so we're always Elwood. And then through it, we also have a POV when we're Turner between these two friends as the story progresses, which wasn't for everybody, but I really enjoyed that. I think that it gave a really great concept with the narrative because it's a novel and it's in first person, from what I'm told about the book. I want to read it now after watching this. This was a hard watch, but it kept me glued. The imagery that was shown through it, as well as like it gave feeling to what the characters are going through. It's very experimental with the way it tells its story, and I think that it's not perfect, but it's such a great step further in telling stories and how we can tell stories. He's a documentary filmmaker, if I'm right, the director Ramel, and if I say his name right, Ramel Ross, and sorry, a minute. So I really enjoyed this, and I really enjoyed the way he told the story. He also wrote the screenplay with, co-wrote it. Oh, there's that minute. But I really recommend it if Jim Crow era films are for you, because this is this very specific time, but an important historical thing. This is not about Black joy, unfortunately. I'd rather see more films about Black joy, but this is also very important to know what was going on during Jim Crow era behind all these closed doors that no one really talks about. Like even this little Nickel Academy in the middle of Florida and probably throughout the country, how we lost so many great minds because of prejudice, because of bigotry, because of hate. But it also is a story of these two boys and what's destiny. where, these are come from two different places and find themselves in the same kind of situation, see the world in two different ways. And then that's what I like about the POV, that it's good. I don't want to give away too much. I think it's worth the watch if that's something you feel that you can handle. I think we all need to handle it because it's important. At the end of my reviews, I typically say if this film is for me or not for me. I don't like to give it the 5 stars or anything like that. I think that gets art is subjective. This is a for me. Go see it. It's so good. Go see it. Really well done. Really meaningful and impactful film. So my erroneous thought for the day is I want to talk about the way this was shot. I would love to see us get more experimental with films like this. It's told the story such a unique way because the imagery within it that would come through the first after it would be in first person. We would be in the POV with Elwood. It would then show imagery of the time periods, of the surroundings, of kind of the texture almost even. Like it made me feel like I was there. And sure, it can be if it can get kind of annoying the first person that you do want to see them interact outwardly, but it really, because of what ends up happening in it and the ending, which I won't give away, once we kind of become Turner as well as Elwood, um, and how they are very quickly brothers in some ways, and in some ways just are very different from one another. I would love to unpack that ending with people. So if you when you do see it, let me know. Comment below. DM me. I would love to talk about it. I don't want to give away because I want people to see this film. I think it's an important film. It's one of those films too that I keep thinking about it. Like during it, I was like, yeah, this is good. I get why it's up for Best Picture, sure. And then afterwards, it's like, stays with you. And it makes me want to read the book. And I'm not a fiction boy, I'm a nonfiction boy. But I think maybe because this feels like it could feel like a nonfiction book. It's someone's story. That's what this was. It was like it felt like a documentary, right? And he's a documentary filmmaker, so that makes sense. But I think we should experiment more with telling how we tell these stories. I loved this. So Nickel Boys isn't up for very much. It's up for two major ones. It's up for Best Picture and Best Adapted Screenplay. And I think they got that right. Yeah, they should definitely be up for those two things. I would maybe also add in, I know the actress, but I'm going to butcher her name, Anjani Ellis Taylor. Anjani Ellis Taylor. I butchered that. Please, someone correct me. I want to get it right. Only one way to know, and the only way to learn is someone tell me, please. Hopefully I got it right. But I would give her Best Supporting Actress. I think it's a really interesting supporting actress category this year. There's not many strong contenders, in my opinion. So I would love to have seen her at the Best Supporting Actress. And Ramel Ross, I think, deserved the Best Director. Like I felt like it was like came from his heart, this film, and how he wants to tell stories. And so I would have thrown him in there too. Best Director. I think overall they got it right. Best Picture and Adapted Screenplay, for sure. I see that. So that's my Aaron's review of Nickel Boys, which is up for Best Picture. If you can, go see this film. It's up for rent. You can just rent it at Prime or Fandango at home. I think I had to buy it when I watched it, but I think it's up for rent now. But let's be honest, it's like $20 to see a film now, so you might as well buy it for $20 and you have it. Even if you don't like it, you have it, and it doesn't matter. You spent the same much as much as you would go to see the film. Support the film. Support the filmmakers. Send the money for little films. Happy award season.